Hello and welcome, SpeedGaming 2. This is the No Logic Summer 2022 tournament. And this is an exciting match. It's game 3 between Thisisnotyoho and Akaelyne. For those that are not familiar, no logic means that the items are placed completely at random without any checks for accessibility whatsoever. So the runners will be using a variety of major glitches to be able to complete the game, and it's really fun. This is also a double rods preset, meaning there are 2 fire rods and 2 ice rods in the pool. And that is done for a variety of reasons. And it looks like we should be getting started any second here. A blue potion in the sanctuary, that's really cool, because bottles are some of the most important items in this mode, because some of the most powerful glitches involve drinking a potion on a screen transition or in a door transition. And the blue cane in Link's house is a nice safety as well. So, Aka's setting up a clip to check the man under the bridge. So meanwhile, Yoho is heading north towards Death Mountain and Lumberjack. By 80 rupees for tier 1 tree pole is probably the best you could get in this mode. The only one that would be even close is bombs. And we are getting a Lumberjack check. I think that was just a small key, and keys are helpful in this mode, but they are by no means required. And Aka is setting up a swim clip. It gets it very quickly. You can see she's just clipping through all the collision and enters directly into Ice Rod Cave, which is convenient. Yoho really farming that tree pull. I don't blame him. Money can get really tight in some of these seeds depending on what items you have available to you for glitching. So Akka set up a water walk. I'd imagine she's going to check the waterfall and the Zora Ledge item as well. This has become a pretty common opener. Still farming. Okay, 300 rupees and a bottle in the waterfall. That is really good. So these runners are not going to have any trouble accessing areas with 2 bottles right off the start that are easily accessible. Some seeds can be pretty bottlenecked, and that's an amusing location for the flippers if you needed more proof of the lack of logic. So Yoho has done a Death Mountain Descent, which is just a simple clip that is used in RMG speedruns to get into the front of the Old Man Rescue Cave without the use of a glove. And meanwhile, Akka has successfully done her Zora Ledge clip, just has to walk around. Flippers are a nice item to have if Swamp is a crystal or if you want to go into Swamp to look for items, but other than that, those flippers are they're really not an impactful item at all, and in some cases they can be annoying to have. Yoho setting up a teleport, it gets it. There's a much easier way to access the Graveyard Ledge item, but that's the way that he knows and has practiced a lot, I'm assuming. I think that was tier 3 or 2 at full magic. That's nice. If they remember that, that might come in handy, but probably not though. But it's better than some of the other triples they could have gotten. So Yoho is able to do a Houlihan after the Graveyard Ledge descent because of the way the camera is not fully corrected when you transition off the mountain like that. Yoho having a little bit of rough luck with the guards. This screen can be a little bit annoying depending on your luck. He gets the clip very quickly though on the next try. Aka wisely remembering there's a free bomb available on that screen. At least free for all boots modes anyway. And selling the bee, that's... little things like that can be very important. We have seen races where runners were farming for rupees to progress in the game, which is unfortunate, but it's certainly a possibility that can arise. The refill area. Meanwhile, Yoho has done the same swim clip to access the Ice Rod Cave without running all the way around. Alright, so Yoho is gonna get his bottle in the waterfall, and he'll probably get the flippers too. I can't imagine you would pass on the flippers, even though they may not be of major importance depending on the crystals this seed. However, that item can be a little bit annoying to access. You saw that Aka was barely clipping fast enough to avoid the fireballs, which once you get into the collision a certain amount, it doesn't matter if you get hit or not, but setting it up initially can be really annoying depending on your luck with the enemies, and Yoho should be safe. Yeah, he got it. He actually got through the fence too. That's a newer way to do it. I don't think everyone knows how to do that, and it is more difficult to do it that way. That was a nice time save. He saved at least like 10-15 seconds there. And we have a bow in the well also. The bow is really nice to have, and in combination with other items can be used to set up glitches in addition to its intended purpose. If Eastern is a crystal, the bow is going to be very nice to have. The bow requirement can be skipped, but it's generally pretty obnoxious to do so, depending on what items you have. Well, regardless, it's just something you don't want to have to do. And Yoho is setting up a fake flute. This is an overworld YBA that will bring up the flute menu in the Dark World, and it will also give him a Super Bunny state. I'd imagine he just wants to burn this potion so he can buy a different one, and he's probably going to check Hype Cave, maybe the 5-6 crystals. That seems to be a common play, but we'll see where he goes. You need to be If we're going left, you need to be 1 or 2 pixels from the screen transition to do this. So it is a fairly precise trick. We see an ice rod and a glove in the Kakariko as well. Ice rod is important if TR is a crystal, and the glove is a convenience item. Okay, Yoho gets the fake flute and goes to 7 like I was guessing that he would. To see the funny palette of the dark Link colors on the bunny green Link for a little bit there. This Super Bunny always messes with your palette. So, Aka into desert. That was a very, very poor hype cave, unfortunately for Yoho. If he wants to, he could like reset that and get the potion and go somewhere else. But if his intent was to burn the potion, I don't expect he'll do that. And oh, it's an unfortunate death. Trying to get to the bomb shop, and he did reset. I like this. But yeah, those Ropas do 2 hearts of damage on green male, and he is just not quite patient enough, which is understandable, being that it's a race. In regards to the Stumpy item, I don't think that it's as valuable to save that for a Link state. If you already have multiple bottles, that is less of a thing when you could just fake flute again, personally. If you're like only using the mirror to access the Dark World, that can be like a very powerful thing. Using the Super Bunny from the Stumpy item. Samaria in the dam, alright. That's an extremely powerful item. Meanwhile, Akka has used a quadrant glitch to access the right side of desert without a key. Once you are standing on the line that divides the quadrants in a room, if you get knocked over the line by damage or do a sword spin while moving, they will activate a quadrant glitch. But yeah, that Samaria is really exciting. There's so many things you can do with that. You can access different areas by corrupting transitions, delete doors, duplicate items. You can do a lot of these things with potions as well, but it's a little bit different with Samaria. To address a question in chat, yeah, there is no logic for any item placement. Literally anything can be anywhere. And no one particular item is required to beat the game other than the Master Sword. So Yoho has done a nice little clip, a screen wrap to get into Hera. He's gonna check the first 2 items, at least. And Akka's having a little bit of trouble with these guards. I'd imagine she's going back to do Checkerboard Cave right now, and Agina. Yes, it is true that they need a fire source, but like there are 3 fire sources in this mode because there's 2 fire rods. So it could be the lamp or the fire rod. There are seeds where you don't need the fire rod depending on if Trinex is dependent, because you can get into the back of Skullwoods without the fire rod. A back of escape from Akka. It's like we haven't really found anything that interesting in a while, other than Samaria and the 2 bottles. And Yoho is really putting off going to Kakariko. And he's setting up a teleport to go into the clouds and do some checks on East Death Mountain. And maps are very important in this mode, as they are in any Keys mode, because we don't know what the pendants and crystals are. Unfortunately, that was just the map of Ganon's Tower, which is a waste of time, but he didn't know that beforehand. And to answer another question, chat, we've seen the hookshot in Hookshot Cave, both in the bonkable chest and in chests that you would have to hover to get to. And we have seen some pretty outrageous hovering in this tournament as well, including a hover to Trinex. So I'm a little bit surprised that neither runner has checked Sahasrara yet. Usually it's a play that you would make for a green pendant info and to just get the 3 items really quick. With boots, it doesn't really take that long to get there. And Yoho not finding anything on the mountain either. Back up the mountain. Where are we gonna go now, Yoho? He did save scum that potion, so he might fake flute to somewhere else or try to go back to the bomb shop for information on crystals. Yeah, he's going to the Dark World, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes. And just because this has been confusing for people in the past, his bunny sprite is the green Link, for anyone that is not aware. Because his original sprite is Dark Link, which it can be a little bit confusing. So Akka does a nice bomb clip. This is a shortcut to get the Spec Rock item without hovering. It's much easier. The Key of Desert. That might come in handy. It might not, though. We'll see. So since the fake flute gives you Super Bunny, you can go to a tree pole location and it will give you a link state. And we already saw him do this, but he's doing this again to presumably check other items or gain information about the Dark World. He could clip into Meyer to check the medallion if he wants, can get Stumpy, dig game, and he can open up Thieves Town and the brewery and Village of Outcasts, and he could do the Bumper Ledge item as well. So he does have a lot of options available, but since he does not have the Moon Pearl, when he enters a building or anywhere in the underworld, such as a cave or a dungeon, and re-enters the overworld, he will be a bunny again. So he needs to think carefully about what he wants to do. And these are difficult decisions to make because obviously it's randomizer and they don't know where the items are, but I like that he's exploring the dark world. Like, the only way this play would burn you is if the Moon Pearl is just somewhere for free, and he has checked most of the light world, so he knows that's not the case. One common location that you can go to without the Moon Pearl and glitched modes that they have not gone to yet, though, is Pod. You can do a simple bomb clip to get into Pod from Spectacle Rock Cave. And I'm a little bit surprised Eka did not do that, because she was inside the cave already, but she probably just wanted to do more overworld. Bombos is the Meyer medallion, and that is important information if Meyer is a crystal, because the Meyer medallion is one of the most annoying and time-consuming items to skip if required to do so. And I will explain more about that if it comes up. Pod and TR, okay, so we know one of the ice rods is in Kakariko. He save scummed again, wow. I mean, I guess he didn't really find anything, but information is valuable. So this is interesting. I definitely don't dislike the decision. I was just a little bit surprised, but it makes sense if he didn't find anything. And now we're getting the Sahasrara play. Green Pendant Desert. No, Desert is one of the quicker dungeons to do, so they were probably hoping that's a crystal, but I'm not sure if he would consider that to be good news or not. Yes, that is true that Eka got red mail because she picked up the mail in Hera that Yoho has skipped over. And I agree with skipping mail in this mode because death warping is super valuable, especially because they don't have the Moon Pearl, but the mail is a good safety as well, so there are arguments to be made for both cases. Wait, I missed it. What cave state big key did he find? Oh, GT, never mind, sorry. So, Yoho just did a clip called Kiki Skip, which allows him to get into Palace of Darkness without using the door or even going into the Dark World. And the significance of the cave state big key is that the Ganon's Tower big key is one of the 4 that will allow you to open big key doors and big chests in cave state. As for small key doors, the game will just allow you to open them no matter what if you're in cave state, because it doesn't expect you to be inside a dungeon in cave state. There is like a technical explanation as to why, but it's basically just arbitrary coding to do with the way the key counter is displayed. And so basically he can just open everything he wants in here. He could also exit out the front door and reload the dungeon if he wants to do that. And there are certain reasons why you would want to do that, like fighting the boss and getting the crystal, but he doesn't have any weapons to fight Helmasaur with, though. But it is worth noting for those that are not aware that Helmasaur is accessible to these runners using only bombs if they want to. There's a glitch called Statue Drag to Helmasaur, and I'm certain that we are going to see that from both runners in this race. Meanwhile, Eka set up a screen wrap to do a little shortcut to get inside Eastern. Both runners finally diving some of the more deep dungeons, like I don't really count desert because desert is generally treated as overworld in glitched modes. And a nice sword on the right side of pod. So Yoho can kill Helmasaur if he wants to. It is kind of an obnoxious fight with bombs and fighter sword, but it is an option that's available to him. And yes, as is mentioned in chat, that sword is actually dupable. He could use the Cane of Samaria, assuming he hasn't opened other chests. Because if he did, he would have to close them, doing a similar glitch. But he either doesn't know that or is not wanting to take the time to do that right now. Either could be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if he's aware that it's possible, though. A lot of people say that everything is dupable, and to a certain extent that is true, but some are definitely harder to do than others. Yeah, that was my understanding as well, that the big key chest would have to be closed to dupe that item. And we have a fire rod in the dark maze. So both of the rods are, like, or at least the first ones that we've seen are fairly accessible to the runners. Which is good. We want to see that because if the seed just turns into a rod hunt and they have to find everything, they're going to find all the big keys and everything along the way, and they're going to be doing less glitches to beat the game, and we don't want to see that. I find it a little bit interesting that Akka walked all the way around to the big key chest. There is a door glitch you can do to get here faster that's allowed in this mode, but... And maybe she just didn't want to do that. But I'm surprised with 10 bombs and red mail that she would not go for that. Okay, so Akka's setting up a glitch called West Samaria, also Samaria Transition Corruption, but this is a West Samaria. And what this is going to do is it's going to delete the door, so she can get to the back without using the big key. And the reason she took all that damage was because you have to either mirror out or do a death warp afterwards, because all the sprites will be despawned as a result of this glitch. And it is very important that she goes and attempts to unlock the door before doing this glitch, and every time she screen transitions, because that sets a value in the game, which is associated with the timer for West Samaria, so... And it looks like she did not do that. And she remembered. Okay, good. Because if every time you fail the glitch by walking through the door, you have to do that again, or else you will be stuck there for literally 18 minutes. It's however many frames add up to 18 minutes. And it looks like Yoho is trying to set up that sword dupe with North Samaria in pod. And so his death warp before that was to save the game in case it crashes. Or there are other bad things that could possibly happen as well. As I definitely have like corrupted VRAM and had other side effects that are unwanted from trying to do this. As you can see, is happening right now on his side. And so meanwhile, Akka has successfully deleted the big key door, and she has death warped out, so she just has to walk back through, and she's just gonna use her bow to get to the boss like you normally would in Eastern. So I believe Yoho's North STC was successful. It's just that for whatever reason in pod, those tend to cause the graphics to be corrupted. So If he goes back into pod, the big key chest should be closed again, which would allow him to open it again, but he's going to leave it closed because he's going to copy the state of that chest onto the chest with the sword in it, so he's going to be able to get a second sword if he was successful, which I think he was. So Aka is still doing Eastern, and Yoho is going to pod this way. Okay, I was just a little surprised that... Because I think it's definitely faster to do a different kind of screen ramp to get here, but maybe he just like autopiloted to that one, because that's the Hera one is the one that people always just do when you're not thinking about it, if you just want to climb the mountain really fast. But, so he's back in pod. He's not even checking if the chest was duped, he's just going straight for the boss. So this is a glitch called statue drag to Helmasaur, and what he's doing is storing the statue pulling animation, as you can see. He's storing it again by getting hit right before... So if you get hit and then let go of the button and it continues to store that animation next time he pushes A. And so he walked up the stairs after taking damage, and now he's going to reload the dungeon. And he's going to do what is called juking the transition, which means you get to the other side of it without triggering it. So you have to do two precisely, or at least the second one, is a precisely timed bomb in the door, and it puts you on a specific pixel, and now you can see the camera is really messed up. And by bypassing the transition, he has visibly went to the top of the super tile, but his actual position in the underworld map is lower than what we see right now. So he's manipulating the camera and hitting the switch to open the door, and he's going to dash down a couple times, and he's going to be inside Helmasaur's room. And nicely done. There are a few ways that that glitch can go wrong, but he did it very nicely. And meanwhile, Aka gets her first crystal in Eastern. Alright, 8 spins, I believe it is. He's thinking... I think potion is not a bad idea. This fight is pretty obnoxious. Which is why I'm surprised he didn't go through with his sword dupe before doing this. Alright, gets the fight done. Very nice. And we know this is crystal, so that's one on the board for Yoho as well. And I'd imagine he's going to check on his sword dupe after this. Meanwhile, Aka is also going to clip to get into pod as well. I didn't see if Yoho did it this way, but this is the older way, which in my opinion is much harder. You can see that she accidentally did an up teleport instead of a down teleport. With this teleport method, you have to buffer to the correct pixel and then teleport downwards, and she gets it. The way I learned to do that was just clipping directly through the wall with a bomb placement, and you dash into the explosion and hold up left. Okay, Yoho is not checking on his sword. Oh, I guess he wasn't successful because we can see that the chest is open, but he has armed a quadrant glitch by releasing a sword spin at the same frame that the turtle connects with his sword while standing on a specific X coordinate. So the result of this is that he's going to be able to go to Hookshot Cave from the right side of pod. And I know Yoho can hover, so he's probably going to get all 4 chests in there. Oh yeah, that's right. He did reset the game. He could have saved and quit after he corrupted the graphics. I wonder why he did that. That's true. Obviously, if you reset the game, it wouldn't have mattered. Thank you for that. So, Yoho's quadrant glitch was successful, and he's inside Hookshot Cave. Meanwhile, Eka is gonna get her sword and pod, and I wonder if she knows how to dupe this. An interesting thing about this quadrant glitch is you can see that Yoho is desynced from the enemy sprites. He was able to just walk through them. Like, he cannot hurt them, and they can't hurt him either. And you can't see the dash dust from the hovering either. But Master Sword is good. Now he doesn't have to worry about duping that sword. Like, Tempered Sword would be really nice to have, but if it takes too long to get it, it's probably not worth getting. Because these runners are definitely capable of doing a Master Sword Ganon if it comes to that. And also, the reason why he's able to explore this portion of the Dark World without the Moon Pearl is because since he used glitches to get here without doing a world transition, he is in what is known as the fake Dark World. So specifically on this overworld screen, he can enter any entrance he wants to that he can access, and just explore however he wants to. But because it is the fake Dark World, if he were to screen transition, it would load a light world screen, and this is actually vanilla behavior that is normally patched out of no glitches randomizer. And he just did a North STC, so the chest that he's opening right now is actually the lava chest, and it's dupable, as you just saw. He opened it twice to refill his bombs. And this is another side effect of the corruption, how the rooms kind of get rearranged. And he took an intentional death there after stealing the key, because this is going to reset the dungeon to normal. Because if he were to have exited out the door, like to go back to the overworld, it would have hard locked the game because of the corruption. So, hey Yoho, exploring TR. I like this play, because TR is easy to explore with Samaria. And he's taking advantage of the fake world state. And for those of you that were not aware, the way that he accessed the door that he got to is just with a simple super speed clip. You can arm super speed and just walk into a variety of ledges that you can't normally jump off of. And the super speed will allow you to just clip right through it. Showing some nice game knowledge with the full magic refill there. But meanwhile, Akka has cleared out Pod and then reloaded the dungeon, so she's now in Pod state and not Cave state anymore, and she's setting up the same statue drag glitch. Oh. Yo, it takes an unfortunate death. Those skulls are so obnoxious because they do a lot of damage and they have a lot of health as well. Alright, now he's doing a YBA. This is a north YBA because it's a north door, and what this is going to do is allow him to get past the big key door. And gets it the first try and quickly as well. So, we're not gonna know what's in the roller room, but hopefully it was nothing. I didn't see what happened to Akka, but it looks like her statue drag got messed up. Just unfortunate. This is fairly time-consuming if you fail it, and this first step that you have seen both of them do is only required if you don't have the mirror. Or this going down the stairs, while pulling the statue is definitely not required if you have the mirror, but obviously they don't have that right now. So Yoho opening the safety door because he has 3 hearts. I agree with this. No matter how confident your laser skips are, it is still easy to fail it. So, nothing in TR, I don't think. He got the Master Sword from Bookshot Cave by hovering, though. That's a good advantage to have. Which is unfortunate, because TR does take kind of a long time to clear out everything. In this mode in particular, you see runners do a lot of skips because of the format, you are pretty much, you can't be burned by skipping like any particular item or location for the most part. So usually runners will just try to do as many checks as possible, as quick as possible. I'm stocking up on potions. I wonder where he's gonna go. Looks like Akka gave up on her statue drag, which is unfortunate. But the fight kind of does suck, so she could go back later and do it more quickly, but... Actually, it looks like she's going back right now. This is the screen wrap I was talking about that I was surprised that Yoho didn't do to get into Spectacle Rock Cave on his second trip to Pod. So, Yoho is, I don't know if this is a Hyrule Castle play, because this could be a Thieves Town play as well, because that door that he just went through can be used to access Thieves Town, and that's exactly what we're about to see. Well, this door is very obnoxious, however, so sometimes it takes a couple attempts. Okay, I can see he's on the right spot. Okay, and he gets it. So, Akka's back in Pod. Oh, wait, I think the way that she failed it the last time, she had to reset because of the way the transition was messed up. Because that's just one of the things that can happen if you aren't on the right pixel when you're doing the bombs in the door. And if you go up through the door. Okay, right now she's doing a YBA, which sets up a wrong warp. So what she's doing right now is she's unlocking Hera, but in cave state. And she has the cave state big key. She can open the big key door and the big chest, and any small key doors that she wants to. A hook shot in the attic. Hook shot is a really powerful item in combination with other items. There is some recent tech that is kind of a meme, but it's possible to dash off a ledge and activate fake powder and then screen transition or save and quit, and the purpose of that is to manipulate a value known as the search index, which can be used for misslotting things, and we might see that, although Honestly, sounds very gross to do, and I would rather just find the lamp, but they might not be able to find it. So, Akka is setting up a teleport, and this is going to take her from Hera to Swamp, and the purpose of this is to unlock doors. This Swamp can be annoying to deal with in this mode. And I didn't mention it earlier, but the way that they clip to pod wraps the entire underworld map, so for whatever reason, that despawns all the sprites. You could see that there were no levers or crystal switches, and no enemies, things like that. So that can be helpful, but it also can be annoying in certain cases. So Yoho into the blind fight. He has done a glitch called LSD blind, and the purpose of that is to keep the door open, because he's in cave state right now, so if he defeated the boss with the door closed, he would be trapped in the room afterwards. So leaving the door open allows him to exit the dungeon and re-enter through the front door. And then he can collect the prize, a pendant or crystal. Akka successfully unlocked Swamp, and Yoho did the scripted blind fight, perfectly scripted. A tempered in Thieves Town. Okay, I bet he's glad he didn't waste time with that dupe any more than he already did. I suspect it would have worked, but he would have had to do another corruption after that. I'm not sure why he reset. Because corruption during a Samaria glitch is not really abnormal, but he could have just saved and quit after that, but he chose not to. Yeah, Yoho has been in Ice Rod Go mode ever since he got the Master Sword in Hookshot Cave. Because he knows, which it's interesting that Akka does not know that TR is a crystal, but she does have both rods. So she is in Sword Go mode. And I'd imagine that Yoho is about to get his Ice Rod in Kakariko, because since he's in the fake Dark World right now, he can just screen transition, and then come back, and he'll be in Kakariko. And Thieves Town crystal obtained for Yoho. And even if he doesn't do Kakariko after this play, he could do Skullwoods into Kakariko, also using the fake Dark World, or fake world transition. But I would be fairly surprised if he doesn't just do Kakariko after doing these VOO checks. So Akka into the Moldorm fight. Takes an unfortunate fall. Big key to Thieves Town after we were already there. Not that that really matters, but it is kind of amusing. It is possible they could have routed this seed differently and gone through Thieves Town from the front, which would have been faster than what we saw him do. Because doing Thieves Town from the bottom up is always a little bit awkward, but he didn't know that key was available. With silvers on Moldorm and a crystal. And Yoho did exactly what I was speculating he would do. You can see how he just screen transitioned twice, then he's back in the light world. So he's gonna get his Ice Rod in town, and he's gonna get the bow as well, so... Also, Yoho has the hook shot, clearly. I don't know if the tracker is having like a, tracker issue as it usually does, but like the software, I mean, not the person. Yoho should consider himself to be in Go mode, even though it's not the most fun Go mode. There are certainly worse Go modes, but there are better ones as well. Oh, Eka is back in pod. I think this is a play for the boss again, but I am not sure, because there are a variety of things she can do here, but she already did the unlocking Hera and Swamp, though, so... It's either Helmsor or Dark World Death Mountain play. And it's probably a Helmsor play, because she's stocking bombs and moving the statue again. Alright, Ice Rod for Yoho. But Akka is really having a hard time with this statue drag glitch, and I'm not sure why. I keep missing the part where it fails because I'm trying to watch both sides at once. But it is a little bit tricky to do this. Particularly the second bomb placement in the door. And you have to time that with your spacing with the pulling animation, because if you go too far or not far enough, the bomb will not knock you onto the correct pixel. Okay, so that one looked good. Let's see. Needs to do this once more. Okay, that was strange motion, but she... Oh, what? She must have double tapped A. I don't know what happened, because she got the juke, but because you could see the camera was unlocked, but she did not have the statue pulling animation. You know, she did a motion in the door that I don't think I've seen anyone else do. Like, I couldn't really tell what she was doing, but this is unfortunate, though, because it's just a time loss. And meanwhile, Yoho has gone to Eastern. Oh, did he index set? I missed it. He's... Well, okay, he's not doing it now, but he... Just now, the Samaria block, he was attempting to mislot Samaria block, which you can use to set up a hook push. And for whatever reason, he didn't get it. I don't know if his index wasn't set correctly or if he just missed the timing on the mislot itself, but because of the method he was probably using to try to set the index, he only had one shot to do it, if he did in fact set the index correctly. So can he do the ledge fake powder index somewhere in Eastern by jumping off a ledge, or does it have to be with like the mirror or a screen transition? I'm not exactly sure how this works, because this seems like something you would do if you're desperate, because there are far easier ways to set your index if you have other items. He could even like fake powder and shoot arrows into the wall and save and quit, and that's which is some more standard, I don't want to say standard, but it's easy to do at least. So Yoho is setting up the same West Samaria that we already saw Eka do. He's setting up his Death Warp. And so if this is successful, and he remembered to go and knock on the door, it's going to delete the door. Well, it looks like Akka was successful with her statue drag so far. It can still fail from this point, but I would say that's probably not going to happen. Yoho successfully does the West Samaria. And Akka, this should be good. Yeah, she has successfully gotten into Helmasaur's room. She took one more hit than she needed to there, but at least she is in the fight now. Alright, Helmasaur is down for Akka, so that will be her third crystal. Yoho is about to get his third as well in Eastern. And we still have no info on Meyer or Bombos. If Meyer is a crystal, that is going to add time to the seed if Bombos is not just somewhere on the way. That could be something Yoho is thinking about, because Akka doesn't know that and has not even been to the Dark World. Yoho has managed to do a lot more exploration than Akka has. So it's like Akka's going to the potion shop. I'd have to imagine that Yoho is going to go to Hera soon, because Hera is totally free with the hook shot. He can just Hera paw to the top. But since he's already here, he could use a potion or attempt a hook push to get to Meyer. But not knowing it's a crystal, though, it could be information. He wouldn't even get information from going there in Eastern State, but he could get items. So he's going back in, so he's probably thinking Meyer. Oh, never mind. This is just a door juke. He's gonna check the big key chest the way I was suggesting earlier. That Akka, I was surprised that she didn't do it, because you can do this with bombs as well. And you can see how much quicker this is than walking all the way around through the dungeon. So he's gonna have to save and quit out of here now, because he doesn't have the mirror and he's not gonna death warp. Okay. So meanwhile, Akka is setting up a YBA, and this specific YBA is gonna take it. Well, it would have taken her to Ice Palace. I don't know if she changed her mind or what, but maybe just wants more bombs. Bombs are useful in Ice Palace. Yeah, it looks like that's what she's doing. Act of escape from Yoho. We know this is nothing. That swamp small is like only important if they get the Moon Pearl and the mirror. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to. Well, I mean, I guess you could still use it, even if you go to Swamp from the middle, but I don't know. We'll see if Swamp is even a crystal. Is Akka already unlocked Swamp, but it's necessary or not yet? Because there are other ways to get the crystal without even unlocking the doors, but they don't have proper indexing. Oh, that is infuriating when that happens. So he accidentally opened the door. He really wanted to save that key, because the Hera key is commonly used to unlock Swamp. That's why I'm usually really careful when I do the super speed Hera pot and I have a key. So meanwhile, Akka has successfully gotten into Ice Palace in Cave State, but she's gonna exit out the front to reload the dungeon. So I'd imagine, yeah, see, he's going to the wall first to set his Y coordinate before going to the door. That's really how you have to do it if you want to save your key. Aka's doing a bomb clip, just saves a little bit of time since she already checked the Pengator room. And if they didn't have Samaria, it would be convenient for just routing down directly and through the bombable floor, but since they have Samaria, they're gonna go to the right side. And having the keys is nice, because without the hammer, she can't steal the key in the H room. Oh, Moldorm down for Yoho, gets his silvers and his crystal. 4 crystals, taking a decisive lead in the race. A nice icebreaker from Aka. Okay, I think this was nothing, because Aka checked it with the fighter sword, like, so she, like, read the tablet, didn't get the item. Yeah, literally nothing. Alright, Yoho, back into the Dark World. Where are we going? Oh, Skullwoods is a pendant, so he's less likely to go there now. However, he still is going somewhere in the Dark World. Okay, he's setting up a citrus clip. This is just a bunny DMD or Death Mountain descent. This is pretty standard, because you don't have that many ways to clip when you're a bunny. Meanwhile, Aka is clearing out Ice Palace and not really finding anything from the looks of it. This seed has been a little bit stingy on maps because not knowing if Meyer is a crystal or not can definitely weigh on your mind in a no logic seed. Because Yoho knows he doesn't have the medallion, and Aka doesn't have any medallions, so yeah. Although having flippers and hookshot on Yoho's side, Swamp, he can tackle that however he wants to. There's some fast ways and some slow ways. He has options. So just taking a death warp to get his link state, and he's gonna explore. Okay, meanwhile, Eka's setting up a spin YBA. She's gonna get to the boss without needing the hammer or the glove. Okay, so misses it, but she went through the door though instead of drinking the potion, so that is less of a big deal. It's just a little bit of time loss. So Yoho's doing a North Samaria, so the chest that he's opening right now is actually the big key chest, not the whatever the chest that is normally. And you can see because of the corruption, the transition takes him to the front door instead, so he's gonna reload the dungeon. It also conveniently refills that chest, and it looks like he's going for it. Free money. Aka successfully did her spin YBA and is onto the cold stare fight. You can see that Yoho got a different item by opening the chest this time. That was the actual contents of that chest. TR Big Key is nice though, because he was able to get to Trinex without it, but this is way simpler. And he knows it's a crystal too, so he might go there. Okay, this could be a spin Samari at a swamp. I don't know why he's doing this. Yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. Alright, I'm not sure what he can actually do here, because this kind of transportation can cause unstable transitions. I think it's just north and south that are going to be rather unstable. But yeah, this is a fast way to unlock Swamp for him. He's using his Skullwood keys in Swamp, which is nice, because normally you just don't need that many Skullwood's keys, and especially knowing that it's a pendant. You can see that the corruption he used to get here also despawned the sprites, so he was not able to get that chest. And he can't go back in either because the dam is not flooded, but simple screen transition takes him from fake dark world to real light world. And he's in the dam, so if he saves and quits after doing this, the flooded state is saved into the SRAM. So as long as he doesn't do an overworld screen transition, it's going to remain flooded, and he can go through the front of Swamp normally. He's going to have to do glitches to get there because he doesn't have the mirror or the moon pearl, but it will remain flooded though. So when he gets there, by clipping from Hera, it can exit out the front door and re-enter, and that will set the to Swamp dungeon state, because it's going to be a Hera state because that's the front door that he went through. Reloading the dungeon will allow him to collect the prize of Swamp once he gets there. And so 1 hour Uncle Check is a classic in glitched modes. Ak is setting up the same YBA that we saw Yoho do. And meanwhile, Yoho is doing a dash citrus. This is a different style of clip because we saw Eka do the bomb clip earlier. I imagine this is a play for information. I don't think Yoho has any intent of actually clearing Swamp out right now, because he is going to check this item in the front, probably, then just exit out the door and re-enter, and then he's going to go back to that. Oh, the lamp? The lamp is huge. Oh, wow. So, I'll explain more about that in a second, but for now, he's going to re-enter the dungeon and go back to the room where he started, or at least that door. He's going to do a north YBA, most likely, or he might do a hook push since he has the lamp, but by going back to Hera in Swamp State and going into Muldorm's room, the Swamp prize will fall, so he's going to know if it's a pendant or a crystal or not, based on that. And the reason the lamp is so important is because it's the easy way to manipulate the search index to cause misslotting. And misslotting can have a variety of effects, and one of them we can do is to set up a hook push, which is what he's attempting to do right now. And hook pushing basically is manipulating the data that the game reads about the hook shot, and so you can use it to send you to other places. Okay, so I was wrong. He is exploring Swamp, so he doesn't need the hammer to flood it if he does that. But if he didn't get the lamp, I would have to imagine he would have done the thing I said to go to Hera, but since he used hook pushing to bypass the requirement of flooding it, is what I meant to say, he's able to just do Swamp like the rest of it the normal way. I'm curious if Swamp is a crystal or not. I mean, because either way, this is good information. But we don't know. And unfortunately for Aka, this kind of cements the fact that Yoho is in the lead. I mean, he already had more crystals, and her getting the pendant from Ice was really bad news for her, because she spent a lot of time clearing that out, and Yoho is never going to go there. But I guess that was full information, I just didn't realize it at the time, because Yoho knew that Skullwoods was a pendant, and Aka got the Ice crystal, so this had to be a crystal. But Yoho didn't know that, though. So, the only thing that really would help Yoho a lot right now is the Bombos for Meyer, but having access to hook pushing does make it easier to deal with the medallionless Meyer. And he's probably going to save Turtle Rock for last, because there are a variety of ways we can go directly to the Agatu fight from Turtle Rock. Oh no, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, because Yoho doesn't know that Ice is a pendant, so I guess this makes sense. Well, I guess this is good for the sake of the race. The Yoho's betting against Meyer, which is unfortunate because we now know that it's a crystal. So this is a another Samaria hook push. I misslotting a Samaria block and getting a slot 9 block, and placing another block and detonating it and using something to set distance and direction, such as sword beams. He was able to manipulate the data that the hookshot reads, and you saw he just went flying through a wall, and he's an Ice Palace now. I missed that third bottle when Echo was here. I know she definitely did that room. So that's good for her, because more bottles are just helpful, especially if you do not have the Moon Pearl. So, Aka getting her hook shot in the attic of Thieves Town, although I have not seen her do any hook pushing this tournament, so that's probably bad news for her. I mean, it could help her with Swamp, but I'd have to imagine she's not happy about seeing that. Because if she's watched any of the races with Yoho, she knows that he loves hook pushing and is definitely good at it. He knows some setups that are more complicated than the standard setups. However, having the lamp, though, I don't want to say it's free, but it's as free as it gets for hook pushing. There are two, like, very standard setups you can do. So Aka into the blind fight. She's gonna get her 4th crystal. Okay, nice fight. The same script that we already saw from Yoho. And Yoho is setting up his spin YBA to get to Cold Stare, and he's gonna get the bad news about Meyer being a crystal. Which Aka still does not know, I don't believe. Oh, he's not doing the spin YBA, he's gonna hook push. This is far more difficult in my opinion, because this, even if you use standard setups, this room is just very difficult to navigate with hook pushing. 'Cause he's trying to get on the other side of the hammer pegs. And so he can just lift up the thing. I don't know if you fall directly. Yeah, he has to lift it up. Okay, he made that look easy. That is definitely something you have to know how to do. Because just knowing how to hook push, I'm pretty sure if you do it wrong, if you try to attempt that, you could get stuck. A lot of bad things could happen, and he made that look really easy. Then had a perfectly scripted cold stare. Like that was like what you want to see in an NMG run. I might be overstating how difficult that hook push is, but there is always a possibility of getting stuck when you do a hook push. You could end up in collision. But nonetheless, though, that hook push to get past the hammer pegs is not exactly a standard like setup in terms of like distance, and at least it's not one in any tutorial I've seen. That's something you would probably see in like a major glitches, like all bosses speedrun, for example. It's not something you typically see in Rando, but he can do it, and it's fun. He showed it to us. It was really cool. So Yoho, I think he's going to desert, and the reason he's going to desert is because there are... Well, actually, I'm not sure why he's going this way. Because he already did swamp. And he knows Landmo is the green pendant. This could be a play to Mire. The desert is kind of a hub in no logic. Because you can go to Thieves Town or Swamp or Mire from here. Okay, he's using the lamp to set his index, and he's taking out Samaria, so he's setting up a hook push. Alright, and now he's in Mire. That was very nicely done. And I apologize if I'm mistaken about some of the specifics of hook pushing. The only ones that I really learned how to do with Samaria were like the long distance hook pushing, in which case you would use sword beams or fire rod. But there are cases like we just saw where doing a short hook push is still useful. And to address the question in chat, is it possible to clear this seed without using major glitches? I don't think so. Is it possible that one could be rolled that is completable without using major glitches? Yes. A nice Vitreous fight from Yoho, but unfortunately since he's in Desert State, he's just going to get the green pendant, but killing Vitreous is required because the tournament rules state that you must not only collect all 7 crystals, but you must also kill all 7 crystal bosses. So he's fulfilled that part of the requirement from Mire. And he still does not have Bombos, so he is unable to re-enter. Meanwhile, Akka has clipped from Hera into Swamp, and she's gonna get her crystal pretty soon here. And defeat Argus as well. Okay, Yoho back in pod. I'd have to imagine this is setting up the Meyer dupe. Alright, so this is easier than it would be otherwise, because there is a way to do this without hook pushing. So the first step, he has to load pod in pod state, which he did by exiting the re-entry. Now he's unfortunately missing a YBA, but if he had succeeded with this YBA, we saw earlier from Aka, sets up a wrong warp. So it takes him from pod to Hera, but he's still in pod state. So the next step of this process is he's going to clip from Hera to the sewers underneath Hyrule Castle. And the reason why you have to go there is because the door in the throne room in front of the sewers switches your dungeon ID. And every dungeon in the game is arbitrarily paired with another one. So pod is paired with Meyer. So because he's in pod state right now, he's going to clip into the sewers, he's going to hook push past the door, then re-enter the door from the other side. And at that point, his dungeon ID will be set to Meyer. The next step after that will be for him to hook push. He could YBA as well, but I don't think he's going to do that. He could do that, though, if he wants to. So after he changes the dungeon ID to Meyer, he's going to hook push back into Hera, and he's going to Hera pot to the top and collect the crystal, which will be the Meyer crystal. So meanwhile, Aka has got her swamp crystal, and she has 5 crystals. Still doesn't have information about the last pendant or the last 2 crystals, I don't think. Oh, this looks kind of stressful for Yoho, because he needs to buffer this on the same frame that it hits the object, but he can't see the object, and he gets it. He was playing it really safe there, which was smart. Okay, Aka sees that Skullwoods is a pendant, so that's full info for her. And she's setting up a fake flute. I don't know where she's going, but that is what she's doing. So, Yoho misslots his Samaria block. And yeah, okay, he just did it so fast. He already set his direction and distance. I just missed it because I was watching both screens. And does another hook push back to Hera. Oh, he's climbing in normally. Huh, that's interesting. Well, bad news, buddy. You don't have the Meyer big key. So you have to Hera pot. Not the first person to make that mistake in this tournament, but that's okay. He could have also unlocked the door beforehand if he wanted to, but it really doesn't matter. This is faster anyway. Alright, 6 crystals on the board for Yoho. Just has to go to Turtle Rock, which he has several ways to do, even without the Moon Pearl. Gonna be a quick Trinex fight with the Tempered Sword. Half magic as well. A very safe fight at this point. Okay, it looks like he's setting up an overworld conveyor. This is probably the quickest way to do this. Now he's thinking, yeah, he doesn't have that many arrows, so he needs to be a little bit careful with this. Alright, well, he got a conveyor. Okay, so he's doing the upward setup, which is interesting. So meanwhile, Akka has fake fluted and gotten a link state, and she did some kind of clip. I'm not sure why her camera is all messed up. Oh, wait, never mind. I've seen this before. She doesn't know the... Or she just chose not to do the Death Mountain ascent that you would normally see in the Dark World from the Lumberjack area. But either way, she has managed to correct her camera, and Yoho has managed to overworld conveyor into Laser Bridge. Which, this is extra free, actually, because he already opened the door. There's an extra step you have to do, which is probably why he did the upward conveyor instead of downwards, because he knew the door was already open, come to think of it. But yeah, just has to take quick Death Warp, gets a link state. And meanwhile, Akaelyne going to Laser Bridge a different way. This is the mirrorless screen wrap for Laser Bridge entry. It's a lot of steps. It's kind of annoying, but she doesn't have the mirror, and it's actually not really safe to use the mirror either if you don't have the Moon Pearl. You would have to first try it. Oh, unfortunately misses the last step. Very nice fight from Yoho. I would definitely, not expect anything less. This loadout's better than the NMG loadout for this fight. 7 crystals for Yoho, so he just needs to go back into TR, and he's going to set up a quadrant glitch in combination with a Samaria corruption, and that's going to take him directly to the Aga 2 fight. So meanwhile, Akka has fake fluted again. She's gonna use the tree pull to get link state. Meanwhile, Yoho's setting up a quadrant glitch. I think that, no, it wasn't good, or he wouldn't be going back. I missed it, but I was gonna say I thought that was good. Yeah, this is a pixel perfect spin release. I see why that her camera was messed up. She's doing a really old style of DMA. She teleported up, so that really messes with the camera when you do that, when you teleport past a screen transition. So Yoho successfully got his quadrant glitch, STC. Pretty standard, but more colorful Agatsu fight. Nice triple. Alright, Aga2 down, and he's going for the Clipe out. Come on. Oh, I'm not familiar with that pixel. I guess as long as you can get it started, it's good. Huh. Unfortunately, misses it. Could have saved a few seconds there that he doesn't need, but it just looks really cool. I like to see it when runners get that. Alright, into the Ganon fight. There's only 2 silver arrows, so this could be an interesting phase 4. Oh, Akka gets her wrap to laser bridge this time. That was nicely done. You know how we're seeing some pretty regular 1-in-1 Ganon strats from Yoho? Dodges the bats too. Very nice. The one hit that he took was in the name of saving time, so very good. Okay, so Akka is setting up a double YBA to Trinex as well. This is pretty difficult to do. It's just a really unforgiving trick. Okay, so she gets the first part. Meanwhile, Yoho just, doing a regular silverless Ganon, but with silvers. And I wonder if he is going to use any arrows here or not. Okay. Oh, misses the second shot. That's a shame. He doesn't know that he's really far ahead, but that is kind of annoying when that happens. Unfortunately, Akka demonstrating why that YBA is really annoying, or one of the reasons. But GG's in chat for Yoho. Very nicely done. A 91-minute time with the Meyer dupe without the medallion is a good time, I would say. Yoho has finished with an official time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 5 seconds. GG's. And unfortunately, that means Akka will be eliminated from the tournament because this is a lower bracket round, but yeah, I really enjoyed watching her matches. She has shown me some things that I did not know were possible with YBAs. And I believe I'm joined by Yoho. No, not yet. Alright, so Akka has decided to forfeit, which is understandable. The seed wasn't going super well for her, which is unfortunate, but it happens. I am joined by Thisisnotyoho. Hello, GG.
Hey, thanks.
That was really nicely played. I liked how you did the hook push to Cold Stare instead of doing the spin YBA. I forgot that that was an option you could do. That was really cool.
Yeah, but, I really like that hook push.
I really liked your routing in general. How you save scummed the potion a couple times and gathered a lot of information in the early game that seemed to be really valuable for your route. And you seem to really just in general not have many issues with the seed. It was really well played.
I guess my biggest issue was that I didn't get ledge pog, so I'm very sad, really.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Because I missed you setting up the index, but I saw you attempt to mislot the Samaria block, so I was like, oh, well, if he did succeed, he only had one shot if his index was correct, so that was unfortunate, but you were able to clear the dungeon anyway. And we did not see Bombos on the other side either, so we have no idea where the Meyer medallion was at. But I was just saying before you got here that for having to dupe Meyer, this is a really good clear time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of places I didn't really check. Once I got Lamp, I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just finish, so that was it. I was pretty sad about not having enough arrows to do Silver Ganon.
Yeah, I was noticing that when you were setting up the conveyor, that you didn't have that many arrows left, and it's
I was
just
trying to
unfortunate,
farm.
but it's hard to route arrows in. There aren't that many places you can get arrows in the game. They're all like pretty out of the way if you don't know like a prize pack that's on the way that you can get them, or a tree pull or something like that. So it's definitely not an uncommon issue, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to farm in the big room, but nothing dropped anything I wanted. So, and then I tinked an arrow. Like I got 6 spins, and I was like, all right, well, I can just hit him with the last 2 arrows. And then I tinked an arrow, and I was real sad.
Yeah, I saw that. That was unfortunate, but it happens. So did you feel that you really needed the lamp, or did it just make it a lot easier and smoother for you?
Well, doing TR was gonna really suck without the lamp. So, yeah, I kind of just wanted it, you know.
But you had the big key though, and Samaria from the brewery.
Yeah, but it was still
I'm
gonna
pretty.
be like a big pain to get there to actually,
Yeah,
go in and do stuff. So like it was going to be like, okay, the best shot I had without doing crazy stuff was probably the spin Samaria and Desert, but then you still have to go through half the dungeon to do that. So
yeah, that is true. There aren't that many good options if you don't have the Moon Pearl and you don't have Overworld Conveyor. I mean, a lot of people do the fake flute and then do the mirrorless rap, but yeah, that's definitely not the quickest thing to do, so I could understand that. But TR is usually put off till the end, so I think that ended up working out really well for you.
yeah, the routing really worked out in a lucky fashion for me because I didn't have any knowledge of what the crystals were, and I was just going to places and getting crystals until ice. So I was basically I got everything down to it being between ice and mire, and I was like, well, ice is easier to do. I'm just gonna do ice, and then it was mire. So yeah, I had to do the dupe and everything.
Yeah, the seed was pretty stingy with the maps, and Aka did ice as well. She actually did it before you, but she was very hesitant to go into the dark world, so she didn't have a lot of the information that you had. She never went to the bomb shop, and yeah, her route was just totally different, and she had some issues doing the statue drag to Helmasaur. I'm not sure exactly why, but she was having trouble with it, so that was a fairly decent time loss to her, and she never got the sword and hookshot cave because I'm pretty sure she can't hover, so she like didn't even want to go there. But yeah, it happens though.
Yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed the seed anyway because I got hook pushing. I got to do mini miss slots, so it's a great seed.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch too. I really like the variety of setups that you know. I'm usually only good at like the pretty standard ones, but yeah, it was great to watch. Thanks for playing and congratulations. You'll be moving on in the lower bracket. I don't have the bracket in front of me, so I'm not sure
I'm
who you're
playing someone who
facing.
will be easily defeated, who is a chump, who was in the chat talking smack. His name is Foxlisk. He's over. He's done. He might as well just
Oh.
forfeit now.
well, well, those are quite the words. He's thrown it down there. So Fox said, guess better get some practice in, I guess.
Yeah, but anyway, thanks for the comms and thanks for the tracking. It's all in fun. Me and Fox, we've had a rivalry ever since we both had a tied NMG time back in, I was like a year or two ago. So, yeah, thanks again for the restream and everything. And thanks to Akaelyne for good races and a good time.
Yeah, GG to Akaelyne as well. Did perform very well overall throughout the tournament and did a lot of strats and tricks that we didn't really see from other players. So it was really good to have her. I'm glad she was here as well. So GG to Akaelyne. Akaelyne. I've been told how to pronounce the name, but I don't know it, so I apologize for that. But GG again to you, Yoho, and thank you, Dark Wolf, for the restream. Thank you, Tam, for tracking. Thank you everybody for watching. We do have a match later on. Let me double check that really quick. Mr. Bayer versus Wolfie is at 8 p.m. Eastern on SpeedGaming 4, and that should be a very exciting race. So I guess we'll just leave it at that. Thanks again, everybody who helped. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.